The story had gone viral. Trump's ex-campaign manager, Brad Parscale, barricaded himself inside his home, was threatening to harm himself, had a loaded gun. His wife, screaming, runs outside, bruises on her arm, saying, "I think my husband just killed himself." Police show up. He refuses to come out. Finally, they get a handle on the situation. And I'm not entirely sure I believe any of that. That's weird. And it's this kind of creepy story because the video's been released. And what does the video show? It shows Brad Parscale walking out of his house in his shorts, very calmly and slowly. And the cops like, "Come over here, chill." Brad Parscale puts a beer down. He's like, "Dude, like nothing happened. I didn't do anything." And then the cops run up and slam him into the ground. And he's just like, whoa. He's got his hands up. He's like, "I'm not doing anything. I didn't do anything." And they're yelling at him, "Get on the ground." And then they cuff him and they're like, "All right, get up, buddy." And he's just like confused. The funny thing about this is that people are now like tweeting things like, "Whoa, is this what the cops do when someone's having like a mental health issue?" And it's like, yeah, dude. Yeah. But I think the left, the people who are criticizing the shocked conservatives, is one of the biggest problems that we have when it comes to politics. Dude, if Brad Parscale was having this like episode or whatever, which I don't see any evidence right now. We'll read the story. Then the police need to be very careful with how they deal with him. The dude was calmly talking to the cop, clearly not a threat. I mean, he's Brad Parscale. Come on. He's probably totally blue lives matter. They had no reason to tackle the guy, but they slammed him to the ground. It's kind of crazy. Let's read a little bit. I got some video and we'll go through this. From the Daily Mail, Brad came out of his office and cocked his handgun. Moment, bruised wife of ex-Trump campaign manager Brad Parscale flees their home in bikini and tells cops he's armed and hit her before SWAT officers slam him to the ground. Now, I didn't see that in the video. I mean, maybe in the video, it's just her talking to the cops. Let's read. The wife of Donald Trump's demoted campaign boss, Brad Parscale, fled screaming into the street in just her bikini before telling a passerby, "I think my husband just killed himself." Police raced to Parscale's Fort Lauderdale, Florida home Sunday afternoon after the Good Samaritan bundled Candace Parscale into her car and dialed 911. As many as 20 police cars and boats swarmed the waterfront property after the distraught wife told cops she heard a revolver being cocked and a loud boom after her 44-year-old husband began ranting and raving. Candace, 41, then buried her head in the stranger's lap and sobbed uncontrollably until officers revealed he was still alive and asked for his cell number so they could begin negotiations. Police dispatch records reveal marksmen could see into the $2.4 million property where Parscale was sitting shirtless on the floor with his dog drinking beer and talking to himself. Okay, let's read. The witness, who asked not to be named for fear of reprisals, told DailyMail.com she also noticed evidence of bruising on Candace's upper arms. Further reports and police body camera footage made public on Monday confirmed Candace had revealed injuries to officers and told them she suffered them in an altercation with her husband of 4 years, adding that he hits her. If that's true, not cool. Innocent until proven guilty, but if she has the bruises, then so be it. Dude's going to get arrested for it. The chaotic scene ended without tragedy about an hour and a half later when Parscale was dramatically tackled by a SWAT officer after he ignored 5 demands to get on the ground. He was involuntarily committed to a hospital by Fort Lauderdale police. So here's dude just standing there drinking a beer and they throw him on the ground. There's video. There's his wife. Okay, so we can see, I got photos, blah, blah, blah. The president announced in July he was replacing Parscale. Okay, I'm going to stop right here and then we'll go through the video. When I first heard this story, my assumption was that Brad Parscale was losing it because he got fired by Trump. The media was saying, he was he was like the go-to dude for Donald Trump until I think it was the Tulsa rally. They announced that Trump had 1 million RSVPs to this big rally. They had this huge outdoor area for overflow, and then only like 6,000 or 7,000 people showed up. Trump said it was a lot more. City estimate said like 6,000 or 7,000. It wasn't that many people. And then I guess the scuttlebutt, the rumors were that Trump got really mad with Parscale saying like, you messed this up, and then effectively fired him. Assuming that stuff's true, then the narrative becomes that Brad's having a breakdown and like maybe, I don't know. But in the video, it doesn't seem like any of that really happened, right? So you can see he comes out. He's talking very calmly to the police, just having a beer. And he's just, that's it. Now watch. So here's talking. And then all of a sudden, very quickly, yell, get on the ground. And then it just throws him to the ground. He says several times they didn't do anything. They cuff him. They're armed. This to me seems crazy. And this is why I'm, in favor of police reform. I get it. It's difficult. I don't know exactly how the police should respond in circumstances like this when it's effectively a swatting. I haven't seen evidence that Brad Parscale committed any crimes or was actually, going to shoot himself. The cops apparently saw him sitting with his dog drinking a beer, not holding a gun, I guess. Here's what this dude, August Takala, says. Parscale, who is having a calm conversation with a police officer, is assaulted by 5 other police officers armed with automatic weapons. Is that a new treatment for people with mental health issues? Or is it just for Trump supporters? All right. It's not new. No, the cops do this. And I wonder if, many Trump supporters know that. I'm assuming they do. I mean, that's probably why the Republicans offered up police reform, because people know this and they know you shouldn't treat it like, they shouldn't engage in this behavior. There's a story, man. There was a black social worker who got a report of a homeless guy acting sporadically, and he went out to try and help him. And the cops showed up and they told the guy to get on the ground. And the dude is like laying on the ground with his hands up, and he still gets shot and killed. And so, look, when police are dealing with tense situations, very awful things can happen. The problem? Well, most of us are for police reform. I think we typically agree that there's always better ways to do things. We have to explore this and try and figure it out. But what the left then comes out with is, yes, we literally mean abolish the police. And that's what we actually saw in the New York Times. That's literally a story they wrote. Yes, we mean abolish the police. Okay, I look at this. I feel bad for Brad and his family. It's troubling that, this happened to him. I don't know exactly what the details are. I hope if he is unwell, he gets help. And hopefully he wasn't falsely accused or anything like that. We don't have anything to go off of. And I already know there's going to be people saying, oh, there goes Tim trying to claim he's falsely accused. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we don't know a whole lot about this. And a lot of people on the left are going to be like, dude's losing it. Maybe it's a private matter. And the only reason we're hearing about it is because dude worked for Donald Trump and he lost his job. Well, let's here we go. They say a police report obtained exclusively by Daily Mail reveals that Parscale had 10 weapons inside the home, including 2 rifles, 2 shotguns, 5 handguns, and a small revolver. And what does that mean to me? That's not a big deal. The witness, who just happened to be passing by the Swank home, said, I was on the phone to a friend when I noticed this woman coming towards me with virtually nothing on, just her bathing suit. She knocked on the window and says, I think my husband just killed himself. Oh my God, come get in my car, I said, and hung up on my friend and dialed 911. She was hysterical. She was hyperventilating. She nearly collapsed, but I caught her and pulled her into the vehicle. She had her head in my lap and was just sobbing. When she was in the car and we were on hold, I saw both her arms had bruises. She is just a tiny thing. She seemed so sweet and distraught. As the 2 women huddled into the vehicle, cops surrounded the property, stationing marksmen with shields. A video obtained by DailyMail.com reveals Candace, by now wrapped in a white towel, peering over a line of police cars as officers call up her husband's cell and negotiate his surrender. The police presence was huge. They were being extra protective in case he started shooting. Once he answered the phone, they knew he was alive, the Good Samaritan said. We can see photos of it. There's a police report. This is kind of an intense standoff for whatever it is they're accusing him of. I didn't see him come out of the house because they made everyone stand so far back, but it was over quickly. Maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. The police were very calm, very professional. The wife was sat on a gurney for a while she seemed to calm down. There had clearly been some stress for a while, and she seemed just relieved it was over. Her husband has got a lot going on. He's a mess. A Trump insider told DailyMail.com that Parscale went into a tailspin after he was demoted in July and replaced by his former number 2, Bill Stepien. It was widely reported that the president lost faith in Parscale after a much trumpeted campaign. This is what I was saying earlier. I don't need to rehash all of this stuff. But after the campaign rally in Tulsa. So ultimately, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. But I'll put it this way, because I try to keep, I don't want to make this one too long. You get the point. We get what happened. And I hope him and his wife can, solve things on their own. I think it's unfortunate you get involved with Trump and the media is going to go nuts on you and publish all of your stories and everything about you. But in the end, I don't know what to say other than cops should probably deal with reform, because I don't think Brad should have been thrown to the ground like that. And maybe they don't need to show up with all these weapons and guns. They need to show up with a smaller unit, group first of officers, figure out what's going on, then make any changes or call in more units, depending on what they need. The challenge is, you get to call the guys armed is what you're going to do. But swatting has become a big problem. I'm not sure there is an easy solution. I really don't know. And if the cops didn't show up with weapons, and what if he was armed, and what if he did go crazy? So what do you do? Things are tough. Everybody made it out okay. So I guess there's no real issue here, right? Except maybe he shouldn't have been thrown to the ground. But I'll leave it there. I got a couple more segments in just a few minutes. Stick around, and I will see you all shortly.